The morning sun painted Valara's sky in shades of pink and gold. Aaron's body ached from the previous day's trials, but he forced himself to rise. Today was the final trial of the bonding ceremony. He knew this would be the most difficult test yet, designed to push him beyond his limits both physically and mentally. Kale was already waiting at the edge of the forest, his posture calm and commanding. "Are you ready?" he asked. His voice carried no malice, only the quiet intensity of someone who expected the best. Aaron nodded, tightening his fists. "I'm ready." Kale led him to a vast arena in the center of the Valari settlement. The ground was covered with shifting terrain, sand, rocks, and glowing plants. Holographic predators appeared around them, moving with surprising speed and agility. The final trial was clear. Aaron and Kale would face these dangers together, relying on teamwork, trust, and strategy. The first predator lunged, its claws made of shimmering energy. Aaron froze for a moment, but Kale's steady hand guided him. "Move left. Step over the rock. Distract it and I'll flank." Aaron followed exactly, his heart pounding in his chest. He dodged, ducked, and then used a piece of debris to mislead the predator. Kale moved with precision, striking at the holographic enemy to neutralize it. Step by step, they cleared the first wave. "Good," Kale said. "Focus. Don't let fear control you." Aaron realized that the trial was not just about strength. It was about thinking under pressure, about trusting Kale and working as one. The predators increased in number and speed. Each wave tested different skills: endurance, quick decision-making, and observation. At one point, a predator appeared behind Aaron, faster than he could react. Kyle shouted, "To your right," and shoved him out of the way. They moved together in seamless rhythm, human and Valari aligned in purpose. For the first time, Aaron understood the meaning of partnership, of relying completely on someone else while also being responsible for their safety. Hours seemed to pass in moments. Aaron's body screamed with exhaustion, but his mind was sharp. He found a rhythm with Kale, anticipating movements, signaling silently, and striking with precision. Each challenge that would have broken a weaker person only strengthened their connection. Finally, the last predator approached, a towering holographic creature with multiple limbs and glowing eyes. Its size was intimidating and its movements were unpredictable. Aaron felt fear creeping in, but Kale's steady presence grounded him. "We face it together," Kale said. "We do not run. We do not hesitate." Aaron nodded, summoning every ounce of strength. They moved in tandem, Kyle distracting the creature while Aaron found weak points in its holographic form. Step by step, they wore it down. When the final blow came, Aaron pushed forward with Kale at his side, and the beast dissolved into glowing particles. They stood in silence for a moment, catching their breath. Aaron's legs shook and his chest heaved, but a surge of pride ran through him. They had succeeded. They had faced the ultimate test and had survived, not just as individuals, but as a team. Kyle studied him carefully, his expression unreadable. Then slowly a small smile appeared. "You have proven yourself, Aaron, not just in strength, but in courage, trust, and loyalty. The bond is now recognized. You have earned your place beside me." Aaron felt a mix of relief and accomplishment. The trials had been grueling, but he had endured. More than that, he had formed a connection with Kale that went beyond words, a partnership built on respect, understanding, and trust. The Valari elders approached, their expressions solemn yet approving. They placed ceremonial markings on Aaron, signifying his successful completion of the bonding ceremony. The crowd watched in awe, murmuring their approval. Few humans had ever succeeded in such a trial, and fewer still had done so with grace and intelligence. Kale's hand rested on Aaron's shoulder, firm and reassuring. "You fought not just with your body, but with your mind," he said quietly. "That is what makes you worthy." Aaron nodded, feeling the weight of Kale's respect. It was more valuable than any reward, more meaningful than any accolade. In that moment, he understood the true purpose of the Valari trials: to test the whole person, to reveal inner strength, and to form bonds that could withstand any challenge. The ceremony concluded with a symbolic gesture. Aaron and Kale walked together to the highest point of the arena. From there, the entire settlement was visible, shimmering under the alien sky. The elders chanted, their voices echoing across the land. Aaron felt a sense of completion, of connection, not just with Kale, but with the world he had entered, and the people who had challenged him so fiercely. Kale looked at him with a rare softness. "You are ready," he said. "Not just for this ceremony, but for whatever comes next. Together we are stronger than we could ever be alone." Aaron felt a surge of determination. The trials had tested him to the limit, but they had also revealed his potential. He realized that being human did not mean being weak. Through courage, intelligence, and perseverance, he could stand beside the strongest beings in the galaxy. As they descended from the arena, the crowd cheering, Aaron felt a strange sense of pride and belonging. He had come as a visitor, an outsider, but he would leave as a recognized member of the Volari community. His bond with Kale was sealed, not by fear or dominance, but by mutual respect and trust forged in the fire of challenge. That night, under the glowing sky of Velara, Aaron sat beside Kale. They shared stories of their worlds, their struggles and their victories. For the first time, Aaron felt truly seen, understood, and respected. The ceremony had been more than a test. It had been a journey that transformed him, teaching him what it meant to endure, to trust, and to connect. "You fought well," Kale said quietly. "You exceeded every expectation." Aaron smiled despite the exhaustion. "I only survived because you guided me," he replied. "I trusted you." Kale's eyes softened, a rare and fleeting moment of warmth crossing his usually stern expression. "And I trusted you. That is what makes this bond real." For Aaron, the night was a moment of triumph. He had faced unimaginable challenges, endured extreme trials, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more confident. He had learned the meaning of partnership, the value of trust, and the power of perseverance. As they watched the twin moons rise over the alien landscape, Aaron realized that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, filled with challenges and adventures, and he was ready to face them, not alone but with Kale by his side. The trials had tested his body, his mind, and his spirit. They had pushed him to the point of exhaustion, but they had also shown him the limitless potential of humanity. Even on an alien world among a powerful and proud species, a human could endure, adapt, and triumph. And in the quiet glow of Velara's night, Aaron knew something profound. He had found not just a mate, not just a partner, but a true ally, a being who would face the universe with him, and who had earned his complete trust. The bonding ceremony was over, but the journey had only begun. And for the first time in his life, Aaron felt ready for anything. Aaron stepped off the spacecraft and onto the alien world of Velara. The air was thick with mist, and the sky glowed in shades of violet and gold. The ground beneath him was soft, almost like walking on clouds, but every step seemed to vibrate with life. He had come here for a reason few humans could understand: to participate in the bonding ceremony of the Volari, a species known for their strict hierarchies and unmatched strength. The Volari were taller than humans, with luminous eyes and a presence that demanded respect. At first sight, Aaron felt the weight of their gaze. They were strong, proud, and intimidating. Among them, one figure stood out: his assigned alpha mate, Kale. Kale's broad shoulders and sharp eyes radiated authority. Aaron had been warned. This was not a ceremony of comfort. It was a trial of courage, endurance, and trust. Kale approached him silently. His voice when he spoke was calm but carried an undeniable command. "Are you ready, human?" he asked. Aaron swallowed hard. I'll do my best," he replied, unsure what to expect. Kale gave a slight nod and led Aaron to the first trial area, a cliffside covered with glowing vines and jagged rocks. "Your first test is climbing. Each step must be deliberate. Hesitation will cost you," Kale explained. Aaron looked at the cliff, his stomach tightening. It wasn't just a physical test. It was a test of mind and resolve. With Kale watching, he began the climb. The vines were slick, the rocks uneven. Every movement required focus. Aaron's muscles burned and sweat ran down his face. At one point, he slipped, barely holding on. Kale's hand shot out to steady him, firm but not forceful. "You cannot fall," Kale said simply. "Not today." The climb seemed endless. Aaron's legs shook, his fingers ached, and every instinct screamed to stop. But something in Kale's steady gaze kept him moving. When they finally reached the top, Aaron collapsed, gasping for breath. Kale extended a hand, helping him stand. "This is only the beginning," Kale said. "The ceremony does not forgive weakness. You must push further." Aaron nodded, his heart pounding. He could barely stand, yet he followed Kale down a winding path toward the next trial. The second challenge was a maze of mirrors and holographic illusions designed to confuse and disorient. Aaron had to navigate it blindfolded, relying only on Cale's instructions. The maze was disorienting. Shadows danced, lights flashed, and strange sounds echoed from all directions. Aaron stumbled several times, nearly running into walls. Kyle's voice cut through the chaos, calm and precise. Left. Now 3 steps forward, stop. Wait. Aaron obeyed, trusting Kale completely. It was difficult. His body ached, his mind spun, but slowly, step by careful step, he made his way through. Every time he faltered, Kale adjusted his pace, never scolding, only guiding. When they finally exited the maze, Aaron's knees buckled. He had walked blindly through a labyrinth designed to break even the strongest Valari. Kyle studied him quietly, his expression unreadable. "You surprised me," Kyle said at last. "Few have this patience. Few have this focus." Aaron felt a spark of pride, though he could barely lift his arms. He realized that the ceremony was testing not just strength but trust and resilience. Kale was more than an alpha mate. He was a teacher, a guide, and a challenge all at once. The next trial was even more daunting, a survival exercise in the wildlands of Valara. They were dropped into a dense forest filled with strange plants, some glowing softly, others with sharp thorns. Aaron had to collect specific flora while avoiding dangerous creatures that prowled silently in the shadows. Kale moved beside him, silent but vigilant, his presence a constant reassurance. The forest was deceptive. Some paths appeared safe but ended in pits. Strange noises came from unseen animals, and the ground was treacherous. Aaron's muscles screamed as he climbed over fallen trees and waded through streams. Each time he faltered, Kyle was there, steadying him, offering a hand or a word of guidance. Hours passed. Aaron's legs ached so much that every step was agony. His fingers were scratched, his clothes torn, but he refused to stop. Kale's quiet endurance inspired him. Despite the pain, he pushed onward. Finally, they reached a clearing where glowing symbols marked the end of the trial. Aaron sank to his knees, exhausted, unable to move. Kale crouched beside him, his hand firm on Aaron's shoulder. "You are human," Kale said. "You are weaker in body than most of us, but your determination, it is extraordinary. Few could endure what you have endured today." Aaron tried to speak, but his chest heaved. He realized then that the trial had been designed not to punish, but to reveal inner strength. The Valari believed in testing every aspect of a person, mind, body, and spirit. Kale's methods were harsh but never cruel. Each challenge had a purpose, to forge trust, loyalty, and courage. Kale helped Aaron to a shallow stream nearby. "You must recover," he said. "Tomorrow the final trial begins. It will demand everything you have left." Aaron nodded, dipping his hands into the cold water. The chill was sharp, but it revived him slightly. He glanced at Kale, who was sitting silently, watching the stars begin to pierce the violet sky. For a moment, Aaron felt something he had never expected. Admiration for this alien, this alpha mate who had tested him so thoroughly, yet guided him with care. As night fell, Aaron tried to sleep. Though his body ached and his mind replayed the trials, every sound in the forest seemed amplified. Every movement in the shadows a potential threat. Yet beneath the fear there was a quiet pride. He had survived the first part of the ceremony. He had faced challenges that would have broken many, and he had endured. Kale's voice broke the silence. "Rest now. You will need all your strength. Tomorrow the ceremony will truly begin. You may not understand yet, but what awaits is more than physical trials. It is a test of trust, of loyalty, of connection." Aaron nodded again, though he barely had the energy to lift his head. He realized that this ceremony was about more than survival. It was about understanding another being, about learning to rely on someone else completely. And Kale was teaching him more than just endurance. He was teaching him what it meant to be truly tested, and perhaps what it meant to be respected. As he drifted into a fitful sleep beneath the glowing alien sky, Aaron knew that the next day would be harder. He did not know how he would endure the final trial. His legs were sore, his body battered, and yet something deep inside told him that he could not give up. Because this was more than a trial. This was the beginning of a bond that would challenge him, change him, and maybe in ways he could not yet understand, define him. The night passed slowly. When dawn came, Aaron felt the ache in his body more sharply than ever. But with it came determination. He had made it this far. He would face whatever came next. He would not falter, and Kale Kale was already there, waiting, his eyes sharp and knowing. Aaron rose to his feet, feeling a mixture of fear, respect, and a strange sense of anticipation. The ceremony was not over. It had only just begun.